In Chapter 3, Woodside and McClam discussed the expansion of human service settings, the impact of managed care on how services are delivered, the context of managed care, and trends that are emerging in the field. As we read this chapter and the next chapter, our overall goals will be to understand the context, settings, and models of service delivery in human service work. In our society today, most services are provided at the community level. You might remember from Chapter 2 that we learned about deinstitutionalization as mental health care shifted from institutions to communities. In addition to mental health care, many human services are provided at the community level, and human service workers may be employed in schools, correctional facilities, or hospice agencies, to name a few. On this slide, I've embedded a short clip from an interview that I participated in with Marianne Woodside, one of your textbook authors. Here I'm describing my experiences working in one community agency. You should be able to scroll over the picture in the top right corner and then click play on the icon. If you have trouble hearing the audio clip, let me know and I will try to get it to you in a different format. People who reside in rural areas have been disadvantaged when compared to those residing in urban areas if you take a look back at our history. Interestingly, many individuals are now choosing to leave urban areas and return to small towns, which boast lower crime rates and which might provide opportunities for professional growth that one might not get in a larger urban area with more competition. There are a number of issues to consider if you think about working in a rural area, however. You can see here that the field has had some shifts in the ways in which services are delivered based on unique needs of population groups. For example, because services are so costly, many agencies have begun to hire volunteer peer staff. These individuals are not trained professionals per se, but they have knowledge of particular issues that face clients and they can provide social support. Much like the ways in which the delivery of human services has been impacted by political shifts in our country, other forces have impacted the needs of people and the ways in which we provide care to people. Over the last several decades, there has been a good amount of attention given to the psychological health of employees. One particular issue that has received attention in the U.S. is the consumption of alcohol and its impact on productivity in the workplace. Employee assistance programs and the Americans with Disabilities Act have both shifted where and how services might be provided. Alongside the increased interest in human services from industry, the military is one institution in which human services are delivered. From as far back as the 1880s, the American Red Cross has been providing assistance to military families. In our recent experiences, Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom, these have reminded us that war can be traumatizing for troops and for their families. As a response to the increased needs, new programs are being developed to assist the needs of people. Human service work has been impacted significantly by technology. Probably the biggest impact is in electronic communication. Even at my job here at City University, most of the communication happens electronically through emails and different social media avenues. When I think back to my time in the field, probably the biggest change that I saw over my career was the shift from handwritten documentation to electronic documentation. Technology has impacted the way we coordinate care, transfer information, provide services to clients, and even engage in our own professional development. Managed care has also impacted the field of human services in profound ways. Managed care began in response to public outcry for accountability regarding the increases in the cost of health care during the 1980s. One important component of managed care is external review. Basically, the services that a professional provides will be approved by an insurance agency. These services will be paid for if the services are based on evidence that this is the appropriate way to address this issue. There are many sets of standards of practice for different populations. For example, in mental health, many times a managed care organization will approve a set number of sessions of cognitive behavior therapy to treat anxiety. CBT is one form of treatment that has a strong research base, which gives managed care companies some assurance that if this set of strategies is used to treat this issue, then we are spending our money wisely. The ways in which we provide services have been affected by managed care, as you can see here. In addition to the impacts of managed care, the population explosion across the globe over the past several years has also changed service delivery. First, most of the population growth is occurring in developing countries, which have limited resources and possibly high levels of social unrest. More people currently live in urban areas rather than in rural areas, and about one-third of the world's population cannot meet their basic needs. Here in the U.S., we are seeing more immigrants from other countries, more multiracial individuals, and more foreign-born individuals. As such, human service professionals ought to be ready and willing to embrace the diverse demands of their clients. In addition to the population explosion that we're experiencing on the globe, our population is also aging. Advances in medical care and a general focus on health and wellness are leading to an expected doubling in the population of people over 65 years of age in the next 25 years. The emphasis on diversity is also an important trend in human service work. Diversity is a part of life, and each client that you will see will represent a complex picture. Demographic variables such as ethnicity, age, color, disability, gender, nationality, race, religion, and sexual orientation are all included in this broad definition of diversity. September 11th, 2001 changed the way many of us perceive safety in our world. Being directly or indirectly involved in an act of terrorism will impact a person's sense of reality. Human service workers will need to understand the nature of short-term consequences of exposure to trauma as well as the long-term consequences. As we continue to move toward a more collaborative model of care, the roles of human service workers and their clients might begin to take on a different flavor. Instead of seeing the helper as the expert and the client as a person in need of help, newer approaches work to equalize power in the relationship. Clients are viewed as partners, and helpers work to advocate for their clients. We'll talk more about specific roles of human service professionals later in this course. You might remember from the discussion in Chapter 2 just how strongly human service work is influenced by the political landscape. As you enter into this field, I would encourage keeping abreast of the political climate in your community. Your clients will be affected by this, and so you can best meet their needs by meeting them where they are.